In the Gulf of Cambay, overlooking the Arabian Sea, Petronet Lng Ltd in Dahej, Gujarat is preparing to create yet another benchmark in strengthening India's energy security by commissioning its 6th LNG storage tank.
Dahej is a very important port in India and of course all over world also. It is one of the busiest receiving terminals in world.
Fueling 40% of India's natural gas need, it is one of the busiest LNG receiving terminals in the world. India, with a population of 1.34 billion, is the 7th largest economy by market exchange rates and the 3rd largest by purchasing power parity. At 7% gross domestic product rate, India's energy demand is also expected to increase significantly, and Petronet Lng Ltd Dahej is geared up to become one of the front runners in securing India's energy need.
Our journey started in 2004 with the first ship berthing on the jetty, and what we did in first year, we received 32 LNG ships, and this year we received 170 LNG ships on this jetty.
Spread over 170 hectares of land with 2 LNG unloading jetties stretching 2.5 kilometers and separated by a distance of 500 meters. The construction work continues from dusk to dawn at Dahej Petronet Lng Ltd to meet the ever-growing energy demand of the country. Another feather in the hat, a second jetty was completed in 2014, which opened the possibility of expanding the Dahej LNG terminal to 20 million metric tons per annum. Over the years, PLL have gained vast experience in construction and operation of the LNG terminal, and the same is reflected in its execution of the project. PLL executed its first project with construction of its first LNG terminal in Southeast Asia at a cost of $84 per ton, when the world benchmark was around $115 per ton. PLL never looked back and executed its Phase 3A project at a cost of $81 per ton of regasification capacity when world benchmark is $334 per ton. PLL, with its experience, has not only reduced the capex cost but also execution time when the world benchmark for construction of storage tank is 36 to 40 months. PLL has actually done in 34 months when the contractual requirement was 36 months. That is, almost 2 months before the contractual requirement and 6 months before the world benchmark. Operation of an LNG terminal is different than any other operating process plant. The process is very simple, but its safety is at par with a nuclear plant with respect to both construction and operation, as it involves handling of hydrocarbon at -162 degrees Celsius, which is lower than Antarctica even in extreme winters. Another massive challenge that could have upset the operations at the Dahej LNG terminal is the high tidal variation, which can go up to 11 meters. The tidal variations make operations difficult and challenging during unloading. But PLL made necessary arrangements to iron out these kinks and issues and geared up to handling up to 300 cargoes in a year. PLL proudly holds the world record by receiving 1000th LNG cargo on 25th February 2013 in just the 9th year of its operation with single jetty, and till now has received more than 1700 cargoes with 2 jetties. With the commissioning of Phase 3A, the nameplate capacity of Dahej LNG terminal will be 15 million metric tons per annum and will have 6 LNG storage tanks, 2 of which are constructed in Phase 3A. The total LNG storage capacity of the terminal is 1,017,000 meter cube. Technologically the best, the Phase 3A tanks are constructed using 636 piles of length 40 meter and 1 meter diameter. Area of each tanks is as big as a standard football ground.
The insulation of the tank is so good that they say if you keep 1 cup of tea in this and put it out after 1 year, then it will remain warm. That is, heat ingress in that tank has been completely insulated.
Six LNG storage tanks at the Dahej terminal store energy equivalent to 350 lakh domestic LPG cylinders, which is sufficient enough to meet the LPG demand of Uttar Pradesh, the largest state of India, for 70 days. Or in terms of gaseous volume, these tanks store 615 mmSCM of natural gas, which is sufficient enough to cater to the PNG requirement of the entire country for household purpose for 70 days, or can meet the fuel requirement of the entire fleet of vehicles running on CNG for 70 days. The tanks are vast enough that if entire fleet of existing trucks and buses of the country were running on LNG or CNG, they can operate for 7 days. The contribution of Phase 3A storage capacity in the overall storage capacity of the Dahej LNG terminal is around 36%. Though the RLNG from the Dahej LNG terminal is sent through pipeline network of DVPL Phase 1, DUPL, DVPL Phase 2, GSPL and DGEN pipeline to the entire country, PLL also has the truck loading facility to meet the gas demand of customers which are not connected by gas pipeline. At present, PLL have 5 truck loading bays, each bay capable of loading 10 to 12 trucks of capacity 15 to 13 metric tons in a day. Commissioning of Phase 3A is a big achievement, considering the business prospects were uncertain in the beginning in 2004 and only 2.5 million metric tons of gas were imported during the initial year. The expansion of the Dahej LNG terminal from 10 to 15 million metric tons per annum has been completed in October 2016, and Petronet Lng Ltd has tied up for further expansion to 17.5 million metric tons per annum on 1st July 2016. The Dahej LNG terminal will be the 5th largest LNG terminal in the world in terms of nameplate capacity and largest terminal in terms of actual send-out.
Pressure on the Dahej LNG terminal is quite high because this is the only terminal which is operating beyond and at its full capacity, and country dependent on gas supply from the Dahej is really very high.
Today, Petronet Lng Ltd is committed to fuel India's dream of making it energy sufficient and efficient and make headway towards the country's bright future in a green way.